Hello, good day, my esteemed viewers. This is Satellite Media. Let us quickly analyze the situation of Nigeria, particularly what is happening from the government and from what we are seeing in what looks like military era, in what looks like dictatorship. We are seeing the draconian nature of the government, particularly the harassment, intimidation, and handling of the NSC president. We are noting with grave concern the way the NSC president is being handled. You understand that from the beginning, the police started inviting him, and when he honored the invitation, we are meant to understand that he was being asked questions regarding a Briton who was accused of trying to undermine Nigerian government by way of sponsoring #End Bad Governance and #End Hunger in Nigeria. But currently, we are seeing a recent development the other day where the DSS will arrest the same Ajero on his way to United Kingdom to attend a conference that has to do with labor union. We are saying that this is not what is expected of a democracy. We are saying that in a democracy setting like Nigeria, where you have freedom of expression, freedom of association, that the government should realize that nobody have right to start handling, intimidating anyone. And from what we are seeing from the media space, sequel to his arrest by the DSS, the EFPs are coming to clarify that contrary to insinuation in the media space that they are the one that perhaps wrote the petition that saw NSC president, I'm talking about Ajero, being arrested by being arrested by the DSS. They are coming to clarify that though they wrote a petition against the Nigerian Labour Congress sometime in 2023 when Labour Union decided to put pressure on government when they were having issue with the Imo State governor. I'm talking about Hope Uzodinma, and in the process that Labour invaded, or maybe they invaded Abuja airport, where they disrupted activities including that of airport operation, and the process according to airports that they suffered some damages that made them to write petition against Nigerian Labour Congress then. And according to them, that even after all pressure and repeated effort to make police act on their petition, police did not act. Now surprisingly, they started hearing some insinuation that their petition is the one the government is acting on to arrest NSC president. What we are saying in essence is we should have a democracy that guarantees all the tenets of democracy from where we borrow democracy, how it is being practiced. We equally note with grave concern the presence of DSS at the office of Serap. I'm talking about socio-economic rights and accountability projects, where the organization raised alarm that DSS have since occupied their Abuja office, demanding to have interaction with their directors. Though the Secret Service have come out clearly to explain that what transpired is a routine investigation, and that surprisingly it is being misconstrued in the media space and being twisted. But what we are saying in essence is, however I look at it, the police, the army, the DSS have right of investigation, have right of arrest and prosecution. But if we start seeing it in what looks like intimidation, what looks like harassment, hounding, trying to coerce people, of course, I think it will express danger for our national democracy. We have equally noted with grave concern recently when Mr. President will be addressing some party principles, what looks like trying to galvanize support for his party in the forthcoming gubernatorial election in Edo State, where he asked the party members whether do you want Edo back, and they say yes. And he said, and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will give it to you. So the question we are asking is, where do Mr. President derive the power to start deciding who to give a state to? in an election that is supposed to be contested on the basis of popularity, on the basis of canvassing your manifesto to the people and magnetizing votes on the basis of who you are able to convince to vote for you. And why it is most surprising and it should raise concern of every right-thinking member of the society and every patriotic Nigerian is because shortly after that statement came from Mr. President, we are seeing similar statements coming from his lieutenants. In what looked like his lieutenants learning from him, we have seen the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, who of course is from Abia State, made a similar statement recently where he said he owes to his party to deliver Abia State to APC Con 2027. And according to him, he agreed that the current governor of Abia State, the president of Alex Oti, is working, delivering dividends of democracy to the people. But according to him, he said he owes to his party to deliver Abia State to APC Con 2027. Though Alex Oti have come out to react recently, where he said that the reason he kept mute all this while is because you cannot play God, and according to him, it's only God that gives power whoever he decides to give it to. We have only seen in recent time where the national chairman of APC, I'm talking about the Ganduje, will come out clearly to say that the southeastern part of the country, the Igbos, set the stage for their marginalization, and according to him, they are set to capture some states in the southeastern part of the country, including Anambra. They have equally extended that notion, or rather aspiration, to Edo State. Let me quickly say at this point that it doesn't matter who wins an election in a contest under democracy, because in a contest under democracy like we have in Nigeria, it is supposed to follow laid-out principle. It's a game of number where if you have the highest vote cast, highest lawful vote cast, you are declared the winner and returned elected. But seeing statements like I will give Edo State to APC, seeing statements like we are going to capture Edo State, seeing statements like it behoves on me to deliver Abia State to APC, of course those statements are exposing our democracy to threats, because what makes democracy, the beauty of democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And when it goes into an election, is normally on the basis of who are able to convince to vote for you. And it's even on that basis we are even calling on INEC, calling on all the stakeholders to synergize and put pressure on National Assembly to deepen this democracy. And the best bet, the best way to deepen this democracy is to amend some relevant sections of the Electoral Act, particularly the section that deals with the mode of transmission of election results. To understand that the bane of alleged manipulation of the 2023 presidential election is linked to the issue of transmission of election results. Before that 2023 presidential election, the Nigerians across board put pressure on National Assembly to amend some relevant section of the Electoral Act to pave way for transparency in that process. And as we have it, the National Assembly then amended the relevant section that deals with the mode of transmission of election results and gave INEC the leverage, the liberty to determine the mode of transmission of election results. And Mr. President then, I talked about Muhammad Buhari, received so much pressure before he assented into law. After assented into law, we went into that election. Before we went into the election, INEC came out with their guidelines saying that they were going to transmit election results electronically. But at the nick of time, they reneged. They cited network glitch as an excuse for not transmitting election results electronically, and they resorted to manipulation of election results, which has always been the bane of manipulation of the electoral process. As we speak, we have people who feel dissatisfied after the process, like the Labour Party and this candidate are talking about P2B, like PDP and this candidate are talking about Atiku Abubakar. So they proceed their various cases to Supreme Court, the High Court of the land, but in the wisdom of the court gave to durable the victory and return as elected as declared by INEC. Let me quickly say that it is irrespective of the decision of the Supreme Court, because we have seen Supreme Court in itself ruling in the past that what made the Supreme is because they are the highest arbiter in the land. They are the last court, not because they are infallible. So to that extent, the only way we can address this issue of credibility in our electoral process is to reduce human interference. And the only way we can reduce human interference is to ensure that we amend that same electoral act that deals with transmission of election results. I'm talking about the mode of transmission of election results. Let that discretionary power given by INEC, by that section of electoral act, be amended to in such a way that INEC will not have that discretionary power, that we have some specifics saying that in the process of collation, you must transmit election results electronically, else it will not avoid. I think until that stage, our electoral process is not in any way near or close to fair and credible. And we have seen observers that observe the election come out clearly to even echo the same thing. Even when the European Union that came to monitor the election turn in their report, they figure out that issue that has to do with the mode of transmission of election results. We have seen different stakeholders, including MBA and some other organizations, coming out clearly to have on that mode of transmission of election results. And I think this is where patriotism sets in. I think this is where stakeholders may not be doing enough as far as I'm concerned. Because by now we ought to be seeing agitation, seeing conversation around it among stakeholders, among civil liberty organizations, among even MBA itself. But currently, with the whole issue seems to be losing steam. Nobody seems to be having conversation about it. And until we address that, we may not be anything close to free, fair, and credible election in Nigeria. I must say, very thank you for your time. This is Satellite Media, and I'm Mr. Martin. Thank you for your time.